Have you ever noticed how some people in their 60s, 70s, even 80s just seem to glow with energy? They've got that spark in their eye, that spring in their step, and you wonder, what's their secret? Well, I'll let you in on something. A huge part of that vibrant health comes down to what's on their plate. Yes, nutrition plays a powerful role, especially as we get older. But here's the tricky part. The same foods that worked for us in our 30s and 40s don't always serve us the same way after 60. Our bodies change. Our metabolism slows, digestion shifts, and we need different nutrients to keep everything running smoothly. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. Practical, science-backed nutrition tips that can help you feel energized, clear-headed, and strong well into your golden years. So if you've been feeling a little more tired than usual, maybe your joints are a bit stiff in the morning, or you're just not bouncing back like you used to, stick with me. By the end of this series, you're going to have clear, actionable steps to nourish your body in ways that truly support vibrant health after 60. Before we keep going, I'd love your help with something. If you're enjoying this video so far, comment Y below. If not, comment N. It helps me know what's working and what to improve. And don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't yet. Now let's dive deeper. Let's start with something simple but game-changing: hydration and fiber. I know it sounds basic, but after 60, staying hydrated and getting enough fiber isn't just about avoiding constipation, although that's a real win too. It's about protecting your heart, your brain, and even your immune system. I have a friend, Janet. She's 67, and a few years ago she was struggling with sluggish energy and brain fog. She thought it was just part of getting older. But when she started making a conscious effort to drink more water and add just an extra serving of veggies and whole grains each day, she was amazed at how much better she felt. Her digestion improved, sure, but so did her mood and mental clarity. And that's not just her story. Research backs this up. A study published in Nutrients in 2022 found that higher fiber intake is linked with lower inflammation and better cognitive function in older adults. So we're not just talking about digestion here. We're talking about whole body health. Now I get it, sometimes after 60, our thirst signals aren't as strong as they used to be. You might not feel thirsty even when your body really needs water. So one of the easiest tips I can give you is to make hydration part of your routine. Have a glass of water first thing in the morning. Sip herbal tea throughout the day. And go for foods that naturally contain water. Think cucumbers, oranges, berries. Little changes like this can add up in a big way. And while we're on the subject of foods that do double duty, let's talk about healthy fats. Because for years, we were told to fear fat, right? But science has come a long way. We now know that the right kinds of fat are essential, especially as we age. Omega-3 fatty acids, in particular, have been shown to support heart health, reduce inflammation, and even help protect against age-related memory decline. I always think of my Uncle Joe. He's 72 and sharp as a tack. And guess what? He's religious about eating his salmon twice a week and tossing chia seeds into his morning smoothie. And there's solid science behind this. A study in neurology found that older adults with higher levels of omega-3s had larger brain volumes, meaning their brains looked younger on scans compared to those with lower levels. So if there's one easy swap to make, it's adding in more sources of these healthy fats. Fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines are fantastic. But if fish isn't your thing, there are plenty of plant-based options too, like walnuts, flax seeds, and avocado. Now, I know making changes to long-standing eating habits can feel overwhelming. But trust me, you don't have to overhaul everything overnight. Start small. Maybe swap out that processed snack for a handful of walnuts. Or try adding a piece of salmon to your dinner twice a week. It's these small, consistent steps that create big shifts over time. And here's where it gets even more exciting. When you combine hydration, fiber, and healthy fats, they actually work together to support better health. Fiber needs water to do its job properly in your digestive system. Healthy fats help your body absorb fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K, which are crucial for bone health, immunity, and even mood regulation, especially as we get older. It's like giving your body the toolkit it needs to thrive, rather than just get by. And I promise you, there's so much more we can do. In the next part, we're going to look at a few common pitfalls including one type of food that sneaks into a lot of diets and quietly drains your energy and health over time. You might be surprised. So stick with me, because the next tip could be the key to unlocking even more vibrant health after 60. Before we begin, I want to make one thing clear. This video is for informational purposes only and is based on publicly available research. Everyone's health is different, so always consult your doctor or a qualified healthcare provider before making any changes to your lifestyle, diet, or exercise routine. Scientific knowledge is always evolving, and what works for one person may not work for another. Now let's keep going, because this next point is a real game changer, especially if you're over 60. Let's talk about sugar. And I'm not just talking about the spoonful you put in your coffee. I'm talking about the hidden sugars that sneak into so many processed foods, from breakfast cereals to salad dressings, even so-called healthy granola bars. I know a woman named Linda. She's 65 and used to struggle with constant fatigue. She thought it was just part of aging. But after working with a nutritionist, she realized her diet was loaded with hidden sugars. She wasn't eating candy or desserts all day, but those little bits of sugar in her yogurt, her morning muffin, her afternoon snack added up. Once she cut back, she told me she felt like someone flipped a switch. Her energy came back, her sleep improved, and even her joint pain eased up. And there's science to back this up. Studies have shown that excess sugar contributes to chronic inflammation, which is linked to everything from heart disease to arthritis, and even cognitive decline. In fact, research from the Journal of Gerontology found that older adults with higher sugar intake had a greater risk of developing frailty, meaning muscle weakness, exhaustion, and slower walking speed. So if you're aiming for vibrant health after 60, one of the best things you can do is become a sugar detective. Start reading labels, even on foods that seem healthy. Look for words like high fructose corn syrup, dextrose, maltose, and anything ending in ose. Those are all forms of sugar. But here's the good news. You don't have to give up sweetness entirely. Nature provides plenty of delicious options. Fresh fruits like berries, apples, and pears not only satisfy your sweet tooth, but also come packed with fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants. And speaking of antioxidants, that brings me to our next powerful tip. As we age, our bodies face more oxidative stress, basically damage from free radicals that can speed up aging and harm our cells. That's why antioxidants are so important. They help neutralize this damage and keep our cells healthier for longer. Now, you've probably heard about antioxidants in blueberries and green tea, and yes, those are fantastic. But there are so many colorful, delicious options to explore. Think deep red beets, vibrant orange carrots, leafy greens like spinach and kale, even spices like turmeric and cinnamon. I have a friend, Sam. He's 70 now, and a few years back he started what he calls his Rainbow Challenge. Every day, he makes sure his meals include at least 3 different colors from fruits and veggies. Not only has it made his meals more exciting, but he says his energy and digestion have never been better. And that's not just in his head. Research shows that a diet rich in a variety of colorful fruits and vegetables is linked to lower risk of chronic diseases and better overall vitality. One powerful example is the Mediterranean diet, which has been extensively studied for its benefits in older adults. It's rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, healthy fats, and lean proteins, and low in processed foods and added sugars. Studies, including one published in the BMJ, have found that people who stick closely to this pattern of eating have a lower risk of heart disease, cognitive decline, and even some cancers. So here's a little challenge for you. The next time you plan a meal, ask yourself, where's the color? Where are the reds, the greens, the oranges, the purples? Because every color brings its own unique set of nutrients that your body needs to thrive. And if you're thinking, but fresh produce can be expensive, here's some good news. Frozen fruits and vegetables are just as nutritious, sometimes even more so, because they're picked and frozen at peak ripeness. So don't hesitate to stock your freezer. It makes healthy eating easier and more affordable. Now, I know we've covered a lot already: hydration, fiber, healthy fats, cutting back on sugar, and boosting antioxidants. But we're just getting started. In the next part, we're going to tackle another key piece of the puzzle: protein. Because after 60, maintaining muscle mass and strength becomes more challenging, and getting enough high-quality protein can make all the difference. I'll also share some simple tricks to overcome common challenges, like reduced appetite or digestive issues that sometimes come with aging. So if you're ready to keep building this foundation for vibrant health, stick with me. The next tips could help you feel stronger and more energized than you have in years. So let's keep going, because this next step could be the missing link for a lot of people over 60 who are trying to feel stronger and more vibrant. And that's protein, but not just any protein, the right kind and the right amount. You see, as we age, we naturally start to lose muscle mass. It's a process called sarcopenia, and it can start as early as our 40s but really speeds up after 60. Less muscle doesn't just mean less strength. It affects your balance, your energy, even your metabolism. The good news? Protein is one of your best allies here. I know a gentleman named Robert who's 68. A couple of years ago, he noticed he was feeling weaker, and even little tasks like carrying groceries or climbing stairs felt harder. His doctor suggested he increase his protein intake, and once he made that change, along with light resistance exercises, he noticed a huge improvement in just a few months. His energy came back, his strength improved, and even his confidence soared. Science backs this up. Research in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition shows that older adults need more protein per pound of body weight than younger people to maintain muscle mass. So while you might have gotten by with a little protein at dinner when you were younger, now it's crucial to spread it throughout your day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And it doesn't have to be complicated. Eggs, Greek yogurt, lean chicken, fish, beans, lentils, all great choices. Even a handful of nuts or a spoonful of peanut butter can help you reach your daily goals. Now, I get that sometimes after 60, appetite isn't what it used to be. Maybe digestion feels a little off, or you just don't feel as hungry. That's completely normal, but it doesn't mean you can't nourish your body well. Small, frequent meals or snacks can make it easier. And blending things like protein smoothies with fruits and greens is a gentle way to pack in nutrients without feeling too full. But here's where things get even more powerful, because nutrition isn't just about physical health. It's deeply connected to your mental and emotional well-being too. Think about it. Have you ever had a day where you skipped meals or ate a bunch of processed junk and then felt foggy, irritable, maybe even a little down? That's no coincidence. The gut and the brain are connected through what scientists call the gut-brain axis. In fact, around 90% of your body's serotonin, a key mood-regulating chemical, is produced in your gut. So when you nourish your gut with fiber, healthy fats, and colorful plant foods, you're actually supporting your mental health too. I met a woman named Teresa at a wellness workshop. She's 63, and she shared how changing her diet not only helped her lose a bit of weight and reduce her blood pressure, but also lifted the cloud of mild depression she'd been struggling with for years. Her secret? Cutting back on processed foods and sugar, and focusing on whole, nutrient-dense meals. And honestly, that's such an empowering message. Because vibrant health after 60 isn't about restriction or deprivation, it's about abundance. Filling your plate with foods that give you energy, clarity, strength, and joy. Now, I want to touch on one more challenge that comes up a lot, dealing with cravings, especially in the evening. It's such a common story. You eat well all day, and then after dinner, the cravings hit. Chips, cookies, ice cream, sound familiar? Here's a little trick that's helped so many people I know. Make sure your dinner includes a balance of protein, healthy fats, and fiber-rich carbs like vegetables or whole grains. This combo helps keep your blood sugar steady and signals fullness to your brain. When those levels dip, that's often when cravings kick in. Another tip, keep healthier treats on hand so you're not reaching for processed snacks by default. Dark chocolate, frozen grapes, a small bowl of berries with a dollop of Greek yogurt, satisfying and nourishing. And remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about creating habits that make the healthy choice the easy choice most of the time. Because every meal is an opportunity to fuel your body with what it truly needs. I also want to encourage you to be gentle with yourself in this process. Changing long-standing habits isn't always easy, especially when we're dealing with years of routines or emotional eating patterns. But I've seen time and again that small, consistent steps really do add up. In fact, one study from Harvard found that older adults who made even modest improvements to their diet, like adding more whole grains, fruits, and vegetables, reduce their risk of death from all causes by up to 20%. That's huge. It shows that it's never too late to make a positive impact on your health. So as you keep moving forward on this journey, I want you to hold on to that thought. Every little step counts. Every colorful meal, every glass of water, every extra serving of veggies, it all adds up to a stronger, healthier you. And in the final part, we're going to bring it all together. I'll share some simple, doable steps you can start right now, along with one last powerful insight that ties everything we've discussed into a plan for vibrant living after 60. So stick with me. You won't want to miss this final piece. You've made it this far, and I hope you're feeling inspired, because now it's time to pull everything together into simple, powerful steps you can start using right away. Let's just take a breath and look at the big picture. Over these past few minutes, we've covered so much about how nutrition can help you feel vibrant and energized after 60. We've talked about hydration, fiber, healthy fats, cutting back on sugar, adding colorful antioxidant-rich foods, and making sure you're getting enough protein to keep your muscles strong. And here's the beautiful part. You don't have to overhaul your entire diet overnight. You can start with just one small change today. Maybe that's swapping your afternoon cookie for a handful of almonds and a few berries, or adding an extra scoop of greens to your lunch, or making sure you have a source of protein with breakfast tomorrow morning. One of my favorite real-life examples is my neighbor, Diane. She's 72 and used to feel overwhelmed by all the health advice out there. But instead of trying to do it all, she started with just one commitment: drinking more water every day. That one change made her feel more energized, which led her to take short walks, and then she started experimenting with colorful salads. Now, 2 years later, she says she feels better than she did in her 50s, and it all started with a single step. And that's what I want for you too. Small, doable steps that build real momentum. Let's also not forget the powerful science behind these choices. Studies from the blue zones, areas in the world where people regularly live well into their 90s and beyond, show that their longevity isn't about fancy supplements or extreme diets. It's about simple, consistent habits. Lots of plant-based foods, moderate amounts of lean protein, healthy fats like olive oil and nuts, minimal processed foods, and strong social connections. So if you're looking for a guiding light, think about that. Eating in a way that's colorful, balanced, and joyful, not restrictive. Now, I want to leave you with one last empowering thought. There's a saying I love. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. It's the same with your health. Maybe you wish you'd started these habits years ago, but the truth is, your body is incredibly resilient and always ready to respond to care and nourishment, no matter your age. Every good choice you make sends a signal to your body. I'm ready to thrive. So as we wrap up, here are a few small, actionable steps you can start with today. Add one more serving of vegetables to your next meal. Swap out a processed snack for a whole food option. Aim for a palm-sized portion of protein at each meal. Drink a glass of water first thing in the morning. Challenge yourself to eat at least 3 different colors each day. Simple, right? And yet, incredibly powerful when practiced consistently. And just imagine, a few weeks from now, you could be feeling more energized, clearer-headed, stronger, and more confident. A few months from now, these small steps could become second nature. And a year from now, you might look back and be amazed at how far you've come. Before we finish, I'd love to hear from you. We'd really love to hear from you. If you have any suggestions for future topics or questions you want answered, write to us in the comments below. We're here to help, and your input could inspire our next video. And if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss out on more practical tips for healthy aging. Here's to living your best life at any age, because vibrant, joyful health isn't just for the young. It's for you right here, right now.